Divorce TV with Wally Marcus. Today's program is Family Law with Professor Barbara Atwood. Divorce TV is brought to you in part by support from the Center for Divorce Mediation, 520-577-1202. Welcome to Divorce TV. I'm your host, Wally Marcus, and I've been a divorce mediator for over 25 years. Our topic today is family law. My guest is Professor Barbara Atwood from the University of Arizona School of Law. And you can get more information about our program or our guests or contact us with the information on our website at the bottom of the screen. Barbara, it's a real pleasure to have you here today.
Thanks,
taking
Wally.
time out from your busy day to come and visit with us and talk to us about family law. I think you have a sort of unusual perspective. I think when I go back to my law school days, the law school professor said that this is the only time in your life where you can take the Olympian of the law. So I don't know if you have the Olympia view of the law, but you can judge that by the end of the program. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Well, I teach at the University of Arizona. I've been there for about 22 years now. I went to law school here. I went to undergraduate school at a little women's college in Virginia called Mary Baldwin. I have 2 children. I've been married for over 20 years, so I know marriage from the inside, but I don't know divorce.
And what do you do for fun? You told me before we started the show, you do some interesting things for...
Well, I love outdoor activities. I love to bike. I just got back from a biking trip in Spain, which was really wonderful with my husband. I also have always loved creative writing, especially poetry, and I've written a fair amount of that over time.
You have to come back to that maybe a little bit. Do you think there's any interaction between family law and poetry? Or certainly...
Well, a lot of poems written about family themes, that's for sure. You know, it's kind of, it drives, I think, a lot of artistic creativity. So.
Do you actually, I always like to ask my guests this, and you can go to our website at the bottom of the screen and there'll be more information about Barbara, but do you have a website you can tell people about if they want to get more information about you?
Well, I have a homepage, which is on the College of Law homepage, which you can access by typing in as your link www.law.arizona.edu. And that gets you to the James E. Rogers College of Law, and then there are various links there. You can go to faculty and pull my profile up, and it just gives information about my work, my teaching, some of my publications, that sort of thing.
Thank you. I sort of remember a little bit about my family law course in law school, which is many years ago, but can you tell us, what does really family law really include?
Well, it's really a study of family relations in sort of the broadest sense. It covers parent-child relations. It also covers intimate relations. At this point in time, it's a very different course than the one I took in law school as well, because same-sex marriage is a hot topic. It's when I started teaching this course in 1986, I would never have believed that we would have 2 states in the United States that would actually have legalized same-sex marriage. Both of those states, of course, California and Massachusetts, did it by force, by judicial decree, but that's just a tiny sign. It's a very important area, but it's one sign of many, many changes that have happened in family law. And one of the reasons I find it so fascinating to teach is it shows these changes in our society, I think, more directly than any other field in the law school. And,
in what way?
Well, any of the, I mean, just what I was talking in terms of same-sex relationships, it's the rights of gay and lesbians to adopt children is one of the things that's been changing rapidly. The role of women in marriage, the way that marriage treats domestic violence, relationship violence, the way that the law treats sexual assault in marriage has changed dramatically in the last 20 years. And those are changes, I think, that represent social attitude changes as well.
Do you think that, it just occurred to me as you were saying that, and we were about the same age, and I'm not sure when I graduated law school, but when I went to law school and I graduated in 1972, there were 156 people in my law school class, 12 women, the rest men. I think it's very different in law school today. And do you think at all that that change in the more of a 50-50 ratio of women lawyers, women in law school has changed, has had an influence? And I think more judges too, much more female judges, has changed the family law?
I think it's certainly part of what's changed. The law school, the face of law school is very different. When I went to law school, we had women law professors until I was a second-year student, and then we got the first one at the University of Arizona. We now have, I typically have a lot of gatherings at my house of women law professors, and we fill several tables now from the University of Arizona, which is really wonderful. The student body it hovers around 50% women. Sometimes it has exceeded that, and sometimes it's slightly under it. But clearly, the graduating students are equally represented, male and female. The practicing bar is still not 50 because it will take some time, of course, for women to catch up. Judges are still underrepresented in terms of gender, women judges, but that's improving dramatically. And so you do see, I think, a different voice sounding out there in the shaping of the law. It happens in state legislatures as well. But women have different opinions on a lot of things. It's not as if women are of a single mind. But
that's true.
I'm really glad that we do have this added diversity in the shaping of the law at this point.
Our future guest is going to be Judge Simmons, who's the chief family judge for our area. But I saw that. I mean, one of my law school classmates went on to become the chief family judge for the state, and I saw a huge difference in how the programs that she implemented that I think were much more gender balanced.
Well,
I guess we could talk about law school for a long time. I get a little bit more into family law.
Let me give you an example,
okay,
though, that's kind of interesting for Arizona experience. One of the influences of women was Sandra Day O'Connor, who, of course, went on to great fame in the United States Supreme Court. But before she was a judge, she was a judge and a legislator, and she was a member of the state Senate here in Arizona. And one of her contributions was to shape Arizona's equitable distribution of community property law. She wanted to make sure that it was the language of equitable distribution as opposed to equal distribution was part of our statute, so that there could be some accommodation of the homemaker who might not have as much earning ability after marriage. And so anyway, she was a woman who, even though she's viewed as a moderate, certainly not a liberal, and has always been a Republican in her life, she had a hand in shaping Arizona's law.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
So on the equitable, it seems to me that the divorce rate, is the divorce rate rising or falling in the United States now?
Well, it's falling. It's falling.
Let's put the chart on the screen and see if we can. We had a chart that we were trying to show you. You saw it briefly on there about the marriage and divorce rate in the United States. But what is the rate going up or going down?
Well, the divorce rate is leveling off, slightly decreasing, contrary to a lot of popular opinion. I think people think that the divorce rate is still continuing to escalate in the United States, which is not true, and hasn't been true since about 1980. We did see a big spike in the divorce rate in the 1970s, and that was when the many state laws for the first time loosened up and allowed divorce without a showing of fault. And that, some people dispute that was actually a cause of the rise in the divorce rate,